Topic 3. Celebrities. Cue card. Describe a famous person, sports star, film star, etc., whom you admire. You should say who the person is, what the person does, why the person is famous, and explain why you admire this person.
I admire Yao Ming. I know it sounds common, but I think he's a very interesting person, and I like him. Yao Ming is a professional basketball player. He's well over 2 meters tall, but unlike most tall players, he has a lot of skill, not just a height advantage. He's currently playing for the Houston Rockets. Yao is famous for 2 reasons. The first is that he is only the 3rd Chinese player to play in the NBA. And the second is that he's the tallest NBA player, and very good too. It's not just because he's Chinese that he is famous in China, he's also famous in the United States. For his skill, his good sportsmanship, and his warm personality. For him, basketball is a passion and a career, but despite all his fame, he doesn't have a big head, and stays cool, both on court and in front of the camera. I guess that's why I admire him, because he's famous, but not arrogant or proud. He plays well without playing mean, and he is still just a simple man, even though his face is on posters and in advertisements everywhere. There are many stars who become famous and then fall in love with themselves. Fame is passing, so I really like Yao Ming's attitude. To him, it doesn't seem to matter whether he's famous or not, as long as he can keep doing what he loves, basketball.
Part 3. Celebrities in your country. 1. What kind of people become famous these days?
It's mostly musicians, singers, actors and actresses, and athletes who become famous. That's because their careers are all about being seen by many people. They wouldn't have a job if no one watched, so if they do what they do well, they will be famous automatically. Politicians are also famous, but only the ones in top positions, or the ones who interact a lot with the press.
2. Is this different from the kind of achievement that made people famous in the past? In what way?
When compared to the recent past, not really. Sports and the performing arts have always been the more public professions, but I think in times past there were more political and military leaders who were famous in China. I think what has mostly changed is that more people have access to mass media, so fame has become a more cultural interest.
3. How do you think people will become famous in the future?
Probably in the same ways they do today. As long as there is mass media, athletes and performers will become famous. Politicians will also always be famous, because power is something people pay attention to. But maybe the most important people will still be the least known.
Being in the public eye. 4. What are the good things about being famous? Are there any disadvantages?
Being famous can be useful. You can use it to do good or for personal gain, but I think the disadvantages outweigh the advantages. You can never go anywhere in public without having crowds of people follow you, and you will always have cameras in your face. Whatever personal things happen in your life will often become common knowledge to everyone, and being famous isolates you from the real world so that you can't see what's really going on in people's lives.
5. How do the media in your country treat celebrities?
I think it's similar to most places. If someone becomes famous enough, they become a national hero, at least until they do something that offends people. If they do something that is not patriotic, they will quickly lose their popularity. I think it's the same as most places.
6. Why do you think ordinary people are interested in the lives of celebrities?
I think it's because they are bored and feel unhappy and unsatisfied with their own lives. They try to comfort themselves by paying attention to things that happen to celebrities, especially the bad things. Then they can think about something other than their own problems and things they don't like.
7. Do you think celebrities should appear in advertisements?
I don't think so, but I don't think there's anything that can be done to change it. Companies want their products to become famous, so they pay famous people to support it or become associated with it. It's simple psychology. I don't think it's honest, but I also don't think it will change.
8. Some professional athletes are very well paid. Do you think they deserve to be so well paid?
No. Sports are just games, nothing special. I think it's really quite pathetic, actually, but at least they are not doing something harmful in being paid for it, like being a gangster or a smuggler. I don't think they deserve it, but most people who are paid well don't deserve it either. That's life.
Describe a famous person, sports star, film star, etc., whom you admire. You should say who the person is, what the person does, why the person is famous, and explain why you admire this person. 1. What kind of people become famous these days? 2. Is this different from the kind of achievement that made people famous in the past? In what way? 3. How do you think people will become famous in the future? 4. What are the good things about being famous? Are there any disadvantages? 5. How do the media in your country treat celebrities? 6. Why do you think ordinary people are interested in the lives of celebrities? 7. Do you think celebrities should appear in advertisements? 8. Some professional athletes are very well paid. Do you think they deserve to be so well paid?